So we've all gotten the standard advice on how to manage our ADHD symptoms that you've heard ad nauseum, I'm sure. And all these people mean well, but sometimes it's like they just don't get it. So I thought I'd spin things around a little bit and talk about bad advice that always gets doled out as common wisdom and the things you can do instead that might make a difference. Hey, I'm Megan Brame. Welcome to my channel. I'm a 5-time award-winning entrepreneur and business strategist. I teach multi-passioned creatives how they can generate sustainable revenue across all of their outlets without burning out. That typically means that my clients are people with ADHD. But if that isn't you, don't worry, you're welcome here too, because all of my strategies will work for anyone who wants to earn an income from more than one business without burning out. Now, let me caveat this with ADHD works differently for a lot of people. Some of this advice may be useful, some of it not. Consider your individual motivations and strengths when looking for ways to be productive while being neurodivergent. And I know your brain isn't a fan of long-winded videos. That's why, as always, I will break this video up into chapters, which I'll leave in the description below. Let's get to it. Take your pills every day. So definitely good advice, but easier said than done when you don't have the energy to do it. Solutions I've seen other people do are setting an alarm an hour before they're supposed to wake up just to take their pills. That seems really ambitious to me, and I am super impressed that someone could do that. What I do is I have a daily pill minder. I will show it right here, that slides every day so that I know whether or not I've taken my pills. Plus, I also have, let me get it, this little guy, and this is just I don't know, what's the word? Crevice? No. Divided pill area that I can keep a set of emergency pills from in case I forget to take my pills for that day. I do want to warn you though, check your local laws to make sure that something like this is okay. Some places require, especially for controlled substances, you to have it in the prescription bottle. So if that's you, sorry, I don't think this will help you. Try and set the alarm, maybe that will. But for me, the daily pill minder and then my emergency backup one have worked, I would say, like 98% of the time. Don't want to do a task? Just push through. And this one I'm stealing from Reddit, actually. So this is more of like a unethical life tips kind of area where it's like, it's good enough advice. If you have a task that you don't want to do, the recommendation I saw is to do 2 tasks, because inevitably you'll pick one over the other. And I love that. I love that so much. That actually kind of happened to me today, now that I think about it. My main plan today was to script YouTube videos, but I also had the task of finishing my YouTube studio setup, which I'll leave a link to actually. And I ended up doing the YouTube studio first, just to avoid having to script my videos. At least something got done. And so it wasn't a total waste. I did good today, and thank you Reddit for the idea. Commit to remembering your great ideas by always carrying a notebook. How many notebooks do you have? Yeah, me too. I have so many notebooks. That's always like, I have a notebook that has its own notebook. Let me show you what I mean. Not only am I someone who has a stupid amount of notebooks, I'm also a person that feels like my ideas aren't good enough to write in a notebook because then it'll be permanent. You know what I mean? Like, I know. But here's my notebook that has a notebook. So yeah, I've tried that too. What I found instead to be useful is to use my phone, and I actually use an app called Cast Magic. I've been using them for a while for other stuff, but I like Cast Magic because I can record my thoughts into the app, and the app will then use AI to create a whole bunch of outputs for me. So if I want to do blog posts or tweets, not that I tweet, but you know, a newsletter idea, YouTube video script, it does so many things and has really streamlined the craziness in my brain into actual tangible things. So I've found Cast Magic to be a really beneficial app, but if you don't have it, my recommendation would be use what you've got. And I think Cast Magic has a free level to it, so it's worth giving it a shot. if you're someone who has ideas that just stay ideas or just get lost in the ether because you're never going to use a notebook. Try Cast Magic. Maybe it'll help. And along those lines, use a planner. I'm sure, like your stash of notebooks, you probably got a stash of planners too that are beautiful and designed for many things to help you stay motivated and productive, and you never use them. I know, I understand, believe me. So my solution, and I don't know if this is considered a solution because I guess I'm doing the same thing as using a planner, but this is my planner. This is not just a planner. It is my emotional safety blanket. It has this, you know, like, look, it's like a Trapper Keeper basically, but for adults. Although I would totally rock a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper now. But so I have one notebook just for notes. One is my journal, and the other is my planner. And this is, let's see if I can get you. So we've got blank dates, blank goals, tracker, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And then I use a little magnet bookmark so that I keep on which week I'm on. But there have been weeks I've missed. It's not a perfect system. It's the best system I've got. And I found that that planner not only gives me enough structure, oh, plus I also have 2 pens, one multicolored pen, of course. I found that this setup works about like 98%, 95%, 87% of the time because it gives me enough wiggle room that I can either write notes or write in my journal or plan out my week, track things. I haven't been in a tracking mood lately, but it's still there if I want it. So I guess use a planner for me is good advice, but find a planner that will be forgiving for your ups and downs. I don't like dated planners, preset, that just feels like too much pressure to me. So having one open like this, like I think I started it in May 2023. It's currently January 2024. So I've got a lot of ways to go, a lot of space I can still fill up, and I'm not feeling stressed about it. Keep looking for answers wherever you can find them. Okay, this one's a little self-promotional, but subscribe to my channel and check out my ADHD related playlists. I cover everything from mindset shifts to the entrepreneurial journey and my own behind the scenes experiences, showing how I've been successfully-ish navigating having ADHD while staying self-employed for almost 20 years. Leave piles out in the open so that you'll remember to put things away when you're done with them. My solution? My box of shit. I have multiple boxes of shit. Let me show you one. So we moved here in July. So there's been a lot of DIY stuff happening in my house. So this is one of my boxes of shit. And this is mostly house stuff. There's clamps, cords, my drill is in here, a block of wood, stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there, but it's all related to eventually ending up in the garage. By the way, organizing my garage has been my goal since September. Any day now I'll finish that. And that has been the way that essentially I've found it best to thrive, creating just a box that is full of related stuff. And then I just either get sick of it or I know exactly what is in it and what I need. And for some reason, you're probably like this too, where your box of shit is so much more organized in your brain than it would be if you had put everything away, because then you won't remember where putting it away meant. So that's been my compromise. My husband does not have ADHD, so consequently he actually is a neat person. I am not, obviously. So this has been my best way to compromise, by keeping our house somewhat decluttered and while also finding a way for it to work for me, if that makes sense. I also saw someone on Reddit had mentioned that they have 2 laundry hampers, one for clean and one for dirty, which means that instead of having the chair, you know what the chair is, the chair that is full of your clothes that you never end up going through, they have a laundry hamper. So it looks clean. It looks less cluttered, but they're still able to toss things without, feeling the pressure to put them away because we're terrible at that.
Just build habits. Set up structure.
Yeah, y'all know how well we do with structure 2 to 3 weeks out. What I have found to be beneficial instead is what I call wee baby structure. Wee baby structure is small habits and small goals. And I think a perfect example of this is your water bottle collection. I know you have one because I have one too. We're all gonna drink more water, aren't we? If we got a nice water bottle, then we'd be more motivated to drink water. But then it ends up in the drawer with all the other water bottles that we said we were going to use. And I understand. There's not a problem, or should I say, there's not an inherent problem with this advice. It's actually very good advice, but I want to kind of spin it or pivot it a little bit and say that you shouldn't give up on that advice. I know that it's very reductive, I guess is the best way to put it, of just setting up a structure and it'll work. I know that a lot of times it doesn't work, but my point for this piece of advice is to keep trying and not to let apathy be the thing that stops you from trying and trying again. Essentially, if you feel like you can't set up a structure because how do I put this? The advice of setting up a structure isn't bad because you've got to try. Because if you don't try, what's the alternative? You know what I mean? Like not trying at all, just feeling apathetic and pessimistic, that doesn't help our brains. Our brains are constantly searching for dopamine and for rewards. If we're gonna set it up for failure, it sounds silly to me, but you gotta try. You gotta have hope that this next water bottle is gonna be the water bottle that works. Next.
Make a list. Make a list of what you've got to do. That'll help.
Can I ask you a question? How often do you look at those lists? I know, right? Me too. What I have found, and again, this is another one that works like 87% of the time for me. What I have found is making a list in the way that I need to, not in the way that I'm supposed to. There are so many to-do list apps, so many Pomodoro techniques, so many, like all of those things. Pomodoro technique isn't a list, but you know what I mean? Like there's so many ways that technology has been developed to try and help us make these lists that we will stick to. Grocery lists and to-do lists and goals. And I will never, ever, ever, ever look at a list app. I've tried. It doesn't work. My best way to make lists and to stick to them is to handwrite. I'm 40, so I guess it's just the millennial in me. I don't know. But I like to write things out, and the satisfaction of like crossing something off, physically crossing it off, that gets my dopamine going. I love it. And so that's the best way I have found. And that's my advice to you. If you're someone who really wants to be a list person, find a way to make the lists the way that work for your natural motivations. For me, it's handwrite. For you, it might be apps or reminders or alarms, whatever. The good thing about having all this tech is that there are a myriad of options for you to try and make it work. But this also goes back to the structure advice where you have to try. Again, for me, it's handwriting. For you, what is the thing that just struck in your brain when I said that? Was it like, ooh, is there an app? Or, ooh, is there a notebook? Ooh, is there a list, Cole? Ooh, is there something on my computer? There's actually one more thing I have. Hold on. This guy I got for $1.99 on AliExpress. It's a kid's drawing pad, apparently. It is CR 2025 operated. So it's just a watch battery, and that's what it does. I keep this in front of my monitors so that I can write down notes when I'm on Zoom call or something comes in my head or something that I have to remember that's outside of my office. This thing has been the best $2 I have ever spent for making lists. I still get the ability to write and cross off, and it erases. So I can just out damn spot, out. Lastly,
Stop procrastinating.
even Harvard tells us to stop procrastinating. Thanks, Harvard, I'm cured. Wouldn't that be amazing? If that was just the advice that we've been waiting for this whole time. Stop procrastinating. Just go do it. Oh, okay. Why didn't I think of that? I'm gonna stop bragging on Harvard. They have good intentions. Here's my solution. Look for something in the problem that sparks your dopamine. Is there a way that you can be creative in that problem? For example, say you have to set up your marketing campaign, and part of your marketing campaign is social media. But scheduling social media posts just feels like the worst thing in the world, and so you keep putting it off. Is there something in that that can trigger your dopamine, can spark that creativity in you that gets you started? In the social media example, like, do you like creating images on Canva? Do you like researching hashtags? I don't know. Do you like writing captions? Do you like creating themes? Is there something in here that can trigger that for you and get you started? So those are my tips for you. Again, none of these pieces of advice are inherently bad. They all come with really good intentions, but they just are kind of reductive. So hopefully my solutions have given you a couple of things to think about. Leave a comment and let me know, but I'll see you in the next video.